You too, what is up, man? It's your boy Damn D, man. Today we're gonna carry on with DJ Akademiks talking about the lawsuit that Drake has against UMG. Make sure you check out my last video. The last video I posted, Akademiks pretty much admitted that Kendrick Lamar should countersue. You know, that he should countersue, especially if he's doing all this. You know, it seems like Drake is trying to squeeze Kendrick. He's trying to squeeze Kendrick Lamar into this lawsuit by, trying to get his contract, trying to get information on whether he actually did cheat on his wife and if he allegedly beat on his wife and all this other stuff. So let's just continue.
Because I think we're about to get sued if this doesn't go right with Drake. Okay. All communications related to May 7th, May 8th, and May 9th, trespassing attempts at Drake's house. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, and here's the thing about legal documents. I think this is Drake's lawyer, and I'm not bailing Drake out at all. But I'll say this. If Drake reasonably thinks that any of these things...
Big ideas.
If he thinks that shooting at his house was over the Kendrick thing, like, come on, bro. Come on. Now, obviously, as a lawyer, you're going to put it in there because it came at a time during then. If you know when it comes to that situation. It's a larger thing. But I ain't gonna lie, I might be able to see the trespassing situations. I mean, his house was on it was on the cover photo. So I can see that too. So, all these things, like, you look at it and, like, if you look at it in one lens, you're like, yo, Drake, you're dragging it, bro. But then in another lens, it's like, am I dragging it? Them niggas put my house on the fucking flyer. Like, Meek tweeted some shit with my address, and there was mad cops that showed up later because they got calls about my house. So, yeah, so it's like, you could, in one sense, you'd be like, nah, you're kind of like, you're doing too much. And in another light, it's like, no, you're not. Like, you're actually telling the truth here. Document 15. All communications regarding the promotion of the record on Spotify and Apple. Remember, the record... UMG did a deal with Spotify for I believe 30% revenue for Spotify on the song if they got increased promotion. Now, Spotify has since responded to that by saying, yeah, we did a deal with Universal, but we've done deals with Universal for several artists. And it's not out of the ordinary that we offer labels that we will promote your song on our platform more if we get more of the revenue. So they're saying it just wasn't a Kendrick thing, right? Document 16. All right. Documents to show how much money spent by UMG directly or indirectly of the production and recording of the video. Documents sufficient to show the total monthly spend by UMG directly or indirectly. Okay. Let me see this. I thought there were more. Exhibit 3. Jesus Christ, there's so much fucking legal work. I'm gonna be honest here with y'all, chat. What's this? Oh, these are like explanations. I believe that Drake has spent clearly over $500,000, going up to $1 million on this lawsuit.
Wow.
There was a mention that he spent $100,000 trying to serve one of the guys he believed is the bot guy, which, it's so funny. Drake knows all this shit too, man. Okay, all right, so we have some more requests.
That was kind of interesting. Drake is like, bro, I mean, if you read in between the lines, Drake is like, man, you know exactly what's going on, but you're trying to play dumb, right? So pay attention to his body language right here.
This shit too, man. Which $100,000 million on this lawsuit. There was a mention that he spent $100,000 trying to serve one of the guys he believed is the bot guy. Which, it's so funny. Drake knows all this shit too, man. Okay.
Read in between the lines. Read in between the lines.
All right, so we have some more requests. What the fuck? They have another request. For the time period of this to this, an instruction, direction, or suggestion that any music works or a music video by Pusha T included, but not limited to the story of Added On, be censored or otherwise. Okay. Documents sufficient to show Interscope's monthly revenues and profits from January 1st to the present. Wow. Documents show UMG and Interscope monthly revenues and profits derived in any way. Documents to show the value of Kendrick's recording catalog. Now, see, this is, again, I'm saying this respectfully. I think the lawyer of Drake, he's cooking up anything, and some things that have merit, but some things like a little bit of a stretch. To me, I'm going to be honest with you, it's none of Drake's motherfucking business. It's none of his fucking business.
Facts.
Like, yeah, if you want to rap that you got 400 million, great. But why the fuck do you need to know how much Kendrick got from his entire catalog from 2020? I don't see the relevance. Honestly, for me, I don't see it.
It's to make a rap song. See, Akademiks is keeping it real. What does this have to do with the battle? He just want information so he can rap about it. Since Kendrick Lamar mollywopped his ass, now he want to try to get the proof so he can rap about it and be like, hey, round 2, I know all the Kendrick's information. All right, so now he's trying to get Kendrick information the legal way. So therefore, he cannot get sued. So if Drake makes a diss song and says, hey, you really did beat your woman, Kendrick can't sue him because Kendrick, under oath, is going to have to tell the truth if that's the case. But I'm just saying that's the angle that I think Drake is trying to do.
I'm trying to think. I don't see it. Because here's the thing. And by the way, I'm saying it as like just a reasonable person. The blogger in me and the streamer in me. Okay, Drake, give us your contract. Both of y'all give us your contract. I want to comb through both of y'all contracts. I would love to. But trying to compel one person's contract, we don't know your contract, I don't know. Like, I want both of y'all contracts. I want to go through both of y'all contracts line by line. I do. All documents and communications internal to UMG relating to renegotiation or anticipated renegotiation of Drake's current contract with UMG or negotiation of a new contract, include but not limited to documents and communications discussing UMG's leverage over Drake, the value of Drake's recording catalog, the cost of extending Drake's current contract, the cost of entering into a new contract with Drake, documents and communications with. Now, this would be very important. How were they discussing this? Were they on Slack talking about, yo, that nigga Drake getting his ass whipped? Yo, we should go back to his lawyer or his agent and instead of offering him $600 million, let's just go with 450. Let's go with 300. I don't know, that'd be good. You know, because it could show some, hey, the negotiation was directly affected by the battle, a battle that you basically boosted up. And I could see where Drake's trying to make a point there. Okay, let me see what else. All communications with Spotify, Twitch, Amazon, Anthony Saleh, David Isaac Friley, Gary Morella, Joshua Delseni, Kojo, Anthony Boucher. Okay.
Snitching,
All communications
boy.
with Complex. Okay. All communications with Vivo. Okay.
Everybody.
All communications with Penske Media. Okay.
Everybody.
What is Penske Media? They own something.
Everybody. This nigga putting everybody in paperwork.
Oh, they own
boy.
Variety, Billboard. Ooh, wow, they own a lot. Hollywood Reporter, Rolling Stone.
This nigga putting
Live Magazine.
this nigga putting everybody in the lawsuit.
It's never been easier to start a podcast than with Riverside. First, go to riverside.app.
Wow. All documents communication with YouTube. Oh, wow. With Meta. Okay.
Damn.
Our podcast.
That nigga putting everybody. Golly.
And his host. Okay.
Golly, man. That's crazy.
All documents communications relating to the Hard Part 6 by Drake. Through the present, all documents communication regarding to Drake's criminal history of lack thereof, including background investigations, due diligence, inquiries, checks, and reports related to criminal records. That's an interesting one.
What the hell?
It's like he's saying his label did a background check on him. Or has been inquiring, possibly, about maybe any legal thing or legal liability that they might run into. And the reason why they might do that is if you promise a nigga $400 million and you cut him some heavy advances off the rip, you want to know that nigga not going to get locked up, right? Interesting. All the documents and communications related to the allegations of domestic violence, violence against women, or other forms of violence committed by Kendrick. How the fuck would the label know about this?
Exactly. All this is crazy.
Again, this is a request to the label. This is what I'm saying. Yo, Drake need to sue Kendrick, bro. To sue Kendrick. If you want to find out if Kendrick beat bitches, sue him. He lied on you. Sue the nigga. From January 2019 to the present, anything from Dave Free. Oh, that's Dave Free. Hey. David Isaac Friley. That's Dave Free in his relationship with Kendrick and Kendrick's children.
Wow.
Yo, Dave Free, man. Stop walking around the Ford's building looking for Act to send a coded message to Drake. Drake is in Toronto. He's still mentioning you and Kendrick's kid. You got to pull up for that fade. You got to pull up for the fade, brother. Yo, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think Dave Free is Kendrick's children's father at all. But it's hilarious that Drake is still fucking with him even in the lawsuit. And by the way, I never talked to Drake about like whatever. I think, remember I told you Drake hit me about, I guess SZA hit him. It was like David telephone. So I guess after I talked to Dave Free, he goes to the back. Remember SZA's on the tour. He tells SZA, like, yeah, I ain't gonna lie, I just talked to Act. Man, look like he's saying, man, Drake must be writing them posts. I'm like, huh? Then SZA calls Drake. So Drake hits me, because I don't talk to SZA, and be like, Act, you told him like I'm writing the post on Akademiks TV. I'm like, what the fuck? Hell no. Nah. I say you must got no problem with her saying nothing about SZA, because the last time you're the one who got us off her ass. So yeah. The funny part about that is, this is all like so messy. Drake is still dissing Kendrick's kids. SZA on tour with Kendrick. SZA's still talking to Drake. This is all like bullshit. This is all bullshit to me. How SZA's calling Drake? Yo, Drake, hey Aubrey, did you tell Act this? Like, what the fuck? Why are we playing telephone? It ain't no way Drake and SZA should be talking. This shit is crazy. This is why I'm like, yo, you know what? This is a little bit of dick and pussy business. I gotta stay out of this. Now, the idea of him still trolling, or maybe Drake do really believe that Dave Free is a fuck. That's crazy. Yo, Dave Free, you gotta pull up on that nigga for fake, right? You got to. All documents relate. Yeah, by the way, asking the record label, like the record label is on some Maury shit. Yo, y'all got any proof? This is what he's basically saying. Y'all got any proof that them kids might be Dave Free? That's what he's saying in legal form. That's all he's saying. Yo, he wrote, this is the legal version of, I think them kids might be Dave Free. Like, that's the legal version of it. Yo, give us the paternity test if you got it. Why the fuck would this label have the paternity test of Kendrick Lamar's kids just sitting there? Come on, bro. So I think he's trolling. I think Drake is trolling a little bit. This is what happens when Drake is making so much money. I think half of this shit he's trolling and he wants to torture Kendrick. I think he already realizes certain perceptions of him is cooked. Fuck it. Let me torture this nigga. I'm going to troll his ass. Yo, that's like, say they work at McDonald's and niggas be like, yo, you going to the person's boss at McDonald's and be like, yo, you got to copy this nigga STD results? Like, why the fuck would we have that? Okay. All documents related to the rap feud. Okay. All communications relating to the vandalism at the OVO store. By the way, I don't think none of this shit got to do with it, bro. Like, what the fuck? You think UMG's like, yo, start a flash mob. Go hit the OVO store in London. This will make... Nah, I don't think so. All documents, communication with independent promoters report relating to the video. All documents, communication relating to independent promoters hired, engaged, or retained by you to promote the song. Not limited by date range. The settlement agreement between you and the New York Attorney General. Reference in paragraphs of the complaint, but not included. But to the settlement and any schedule. So I guess there was like some conversation either over payola or something like that in the Attorney General of New York. Because payola was a big thing when it came to New York. And maybe that's why iHeart was brought in. So I think there was an agreement with UMG and the Attorney General basically saying we won't do this again type shit. Because like, yeah, even though you're not bonded or binded to the FCC airplay laws in terms of, you know, they're a private company or public now. If they engaged in payola, it puts them at risk. So it looked like they had some agreement. Drake want to see the agreement. All documents related to the violations and suspected violations of, okay, whatever. So this basically saying snitch on yourself. All documents relating to violations or suspected violations of your agreement. So tell us how you got in trouble, made an agreement to get out of trouble, and how you violated your probation again. Like, this is some crazy request. All versions of the independent radio promotion agreement since 2020, as referenced in your radio and television promotion policies and procedure. Wow. This right here, and this right here I have mixed feelings about. Drake seemingly is trying to drop the grenade and walk out the room. Because I think what we're going to kind of get to is that, and we do know there is reverse discovery, right? You realize that when you ask for discovery from them,
they need it
ask
from
for
you.
From you.
Exactly.
And I think if Universal, and they're probably thinking about it right now to say, all right, this fuck nigga is trying us.
Right.
He's going to drop an album. He dropped one last year. He's still doing decent numbers. It's making us a lot of money. Remember, it's money over feelings. But if they do want to get on some feelings over money, I think they could torpedo Drake. You know why?
Facts.
Half of these things Drake is asking for, they could compel Drake in a reverse way and basically them having put it out themselves. Because I hope I didn't lose you guys what I'm saying.
No.
Bro, every label pays radio.
I understand exactly what he's saying. Everything that Drake is requesting, they can request it from Drake and really expose this nigga. So I definitely understand.
Teams. Every label. They don't only do it for Kendrick. They've done it for Drake. If Drake has a record that's working radio, there is a team working it. I guarantee you. Radio is not free. Airplay is not free. By the way, you know what I was looking up recently? Drake, and there's a little bit of me thinking, does Drake have a lack of understanding? There's no way he's this much of a behemoth in the game, but have a lack of understanding of how the music business goes?
Yes, he's that much of a lame. Yes, Akademiks. Your boy Drake is a delusional lame. Like, he's so out of touch. He's so out of touch. Like, he really think he got the success based on him.
But then I look at like Drake's radio record presence. Like, if you look at his radio chart in history in the last 5 years, piss poor compared to any of the people we compare him with or should compare him with. Drake, when we look at monthly listeners on DSPs and the amount of streams he brings in per year, Drake actually ranks in the top 5 every year streaming. Radio, I don't even think he's top 20 of all artists in the last 5 years. So Drake hasn't been a radio artist, but we're out of radio time, right? So it doesn't matter. So we still look at Drake as Drake. But like, go back to 2016 where Work, I remember Work being playing every day on the radio. Work. I mean, like, Hotline Bling was all over the fucking radio. It's been a while since Drake has been that guy. But here's the thing. I guarantee when Work was running the airwaves, when One Dance was running the airwaves, when motherfucking Hotline Bling was running the airwaves, I promise you, there was a shit ton of independent promotion radio teams that was working for Drake, whether he knew it or not.
Facts.
Radio don't work by itself. So I'm wondering, like, maybe Universal has just stopped doing certain shit for him. Because, be honest, like, when's the last big radio Drake record? And when I'm talking about, we're not comparing Drake within hip-hop. Because Drake numbers stands outside of hip-hop. Drake's a pop star. I know he makes rap music, but he's a pop star. When we look at the top 10, look at this, right? Top 10 stream artists 2024, right? Drake is 4th, right? This is globally, right? But it's the fourth. We could even look at it in the US. He's fourth. Now, I do think Drake has prioritized the streaming era because Drake helped kick it off. Like, Drake is really the artist that streaming, if you ask me, was built around. He was the guinea pig. He was the main proponent. He pushed it for Apple Music and even his presence on Spotify. So I think he bust open that gate for streaming when streaming completely took over anything to do with, you know, how people consume music, whether radio, this and third. But radio-wise, we haven't seen, and I think that's why we haven't seen a Drake record last top 10 for a long time. Like, when's it, like, somebody said Nokia's a radio song. That did okay at radio. It didn't do great at radio. That's what I'm trying to say. Drake is a top 5 artist overall. He's a top 5 artist definitely when it comes to streaming. But look, let me see. Top 10 radio artists. I probably gotta look up PPL. Probably, I don't know. Yeah, radio airplay artist. Radio airplay. And Drake drops more music than any of these people. Okay, this is country radio. I'll look overall. Okay, we look at radio songs. Here we go. Artists with the most number ones in the 21st century. Well, this is 21st century, so Drake probably going to be up in this. I think after he kicked off streaming, I think he's probably going to be in this same. Really? Seven, Usher. Oh, no, these are people who had number ones. This is Rihanna, who had a radio number. Let's see her radio number ones. Wild Thoughts, Monster, Spade, Diamonds, We Found Love, S&M, What's My Name, Only Girl, Love the Way You Lie, Rude Boy, Live Your Life, Take a Bow, Umbrella. I remember hearing Umbrella everywhere, every single hour of the fucking day. Now, granted, it's 2007, so you had to listen to radio in these other places to listen to music, so it was a huge thing. Let me see, how many radio number ones has Drake had? No, not Billboard number ones, radio number ones. Like, this is like a current snapshot of radio records right now, right? So this is the radio charts are measured by audience. And again, I've been thinking about this recently. Drake is one of the only artists that's a top tier. Drake is bigger than Kendrick Lamar in all facets, streaming everything. Kendrick does better on radio than him. And I'm like, why? Now, I'm telling you how radio works. It's not because you look cute or because the song is good. It's because niggas push it to radio. So I'm wondering if Drake is thinking, now Universal been sabotaging me because after I kicked off streaming, the streaming era, I haven't had records being pushed like how all these other niggas shit is getting pushed to radio. They don't push my shit like that. Let's see if we can find where Drake is even at right now. He has a song that's a rhythmic song. Now, which one? That song with him and Central C. That's the song that could be played on urban. See, I know a little bit about radio. So on you have pop radio. Pop radio usually has the biggest audience. You have country radio. You have rhythmic radio. You have adult contemporary. You have urban radio. And you have the Hot 97 that's like urban, Hot 97, Power 105. But then you have like Z100. That's like pop radio. And you have, so again, when they're working these records, they're going to take a record, and this is why like a one dance is easier to go number one. They're not going to only give it to the rap stations. They're going to be like, no, we can have one dance on the pop stations. We could have it on the adult contemporary stations because older folks likes the beat. You know what I mean? Like we could put it different places, get more, and it's ranked in audience. So audience don't mean listens. It just means the exposure. So they like per hour, they have what's called a PPM meter. They see how many people are exposed to this radio airwave, and they say that's the audience for the station. When your record plays, they have a calculation. They say, based on the audience for the station during this hour, your music had the exposure of this amount of people. They compile it all over the United States. That's how they come up with the radio charts. Billboard takes that radio charts, they factor it into a percentage, combines it with pure sales, which means track sales if you buy the record on iTunes or however you buy it on a single level. And then they take DSP streams, and those streams are paid and they're not paid for. They put all three into a thing, and they come up with Billboard 100, right? You got a little crash course. So essentially, I was looking yesterday because I'm like, damn, Drake has kind of not really done good on radio records. What did I miss? His highest radio record is below Cardi B, Outside. The audience is 26.2 million. Now, granted, I do believe that's not the best radio record, but I do believe it's Drake. It's like Taylor Swift. Like, the way how they think when it comes to radio is like, people won't change the station if they hear a familiar voice. And some of these names and some of these people are huge pop stars. When you hear, even though Chris Brown might not sell the most stream-wise, Chris Brown is going to be somebody who's always good for radio, right? Despite obviously stuff like, oh, he beat women or whatever. Chris Brown's voice has been in our ears since 2006. It's 20 years. He's a pop star. He's on a stadium tour, right? So I don't know the song, but it does good on radio. You know why? It's probably rhythmic, whatever, and the name value. Chris Brown. Like, you'll see a lot of name value. Of course, you'll see some new people. I never heard about Alex Warren before, but you'll see the Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars. That's why Bruno Mars does really good. Bruno Mars gets a lot of play there, right? For whatever reason, Drake, I haven't seen Drake with like a number one radio record. And I'm wondering if it's his team making the call or maybe it's Universal making the call. Or maybe radio just don't fuck with him. I don't know. Oh, Rather Lie, I love this record. Where's the next Drake record? Where's the Which One joint? See, Nokia's still on here. But look, Nokia. Look, even the peak for Nokia, this is the peak. Yeah, the peak is at 34 million. 34 million in audience. That's not even, so.
All right, well, we're going to end it off right here because he's getting away from the lawsuit and getting more into his radio performance. But he's basically saying that Drake doesn't do good in radio. So I forgot what the hell he was saying in the beginning. But anyway, y'all leave a comment down below. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this video. I'll continue with part 3 on my next video. All right.